Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX, took to Twitter to announce preparations for a presentation on the company's Moon and Mars-bound Starship rocket. The event will occur on February 10, more than 2 years after the SpaceX last gave a major update on the launch vehicle, which Musk refers to as the Holy Grail of rocketry. Musk will update the design and development of Starship live from the company's Boca Chica rocket assembly facility in South Texas. He'll most likely reveal more information about the mission, as well as engineering updates and probably a few surprises. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll look at SpaceX's most recent Starship updates. Before we get into more details, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you have post notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Elon Musk is developing a spacecraft that has the potential to revolutionize space travel. The Starship, as it will be called, will be a fully reusable transport system capable of transporting up to 100 people to Mars. It's being developed with the goal of eventually replacing all of the company's launch vehicles, including the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy, for missions to Earth orbit and beyond. The entirely reusable vehicle is intended to launch on top of a massive launcher known as Super Heavy, delivering people and goods to the distant locations, such as the Moon and eventually Mars. So far, SpaceX has flown the vehicle at high altitudes but has yet to launch Starship into orbit. With its nose cone and landing fins, the stainless steel vehicle looks like a rocket ship from the golden age of science fiction. 6 highly efficient Raptor engines, developed over a decade by SpaceX, are mounted at the back of the 50-meter-long craft. The engine's design reduces the quantity of fuel wasted by breaking down the combustion process into phases. The propellant tanks are located in the vehicle's center. Refueling the Starship using Martian resources for the return voyage to Earth would provide a level of self-sufficiency, making travels more viable and cost-effective. A massive payload compartment towards the front of the spacecraft, also referred to as the upper stage, will be able to transport significant cargo or people to deep space destinations. So then, what about launch and refilling? The integrated Starship system will begin to tip over towards the intended orbit as it ascends from the launch pad. Super Heavy rolls over while coming back to Earth after the upper stage separates in space. It will spread steel structures called grid fins from the sides of the rocket as it descends, fashioned like potato waffles. These will assist in guiding the rocket stage back to its launch pad so that it can be relaunched. SpaceX has a bold proposal to use its launch tower to catch the falling rocket. The spacecraft would dock or pair with another Starship circling the Earth that serves exclusively as a propellant depot to refuel. The company is presently awaiting Federal Aviation Administration certification to launch Starship into orbit from Boca Chica. Musk has been giving frequent presentations on his aspirations to build a massive rocket that could someday transport people to deep space and to Mars since 2016. Those plans have undoubtedly altered over time, as has the rocket at the center of this endeavor, which has gone through numerous design changes and variations. The vehicle has also gone by several various names, including BFR, Mars Colonial Transporter, and finally, Starship. During Musk's most recent update in September 2019, the CEO conducted his presentation at Boca Chica while standing in front of a full prototype of Starship. Musk clearly wants to move quickly with Starship and Super Heavy, in part because of the company's ambitious goals of serving as a provider to NASA for future human lunar landing missions as part of the Artemis program, and in part because it still intends to fly the first commercial tourist flight of a Starship in just 2 years, in 2024. The mission's purpose is to gather as much data as possible so that the company can better comprehend what the vehicle goes through under unpredictable and unrepeatable flight situations and use that data to improve the vehicle. Musk said he might deliver the first comprehensive update on the company's next-generation Starship rocket development program in more than 2 years. While Musk typically makes public or webcast Starship-related appearances and comments every 3 to 6 months, there is one type of update, akin to a high-profile tech product reveal, that the SpaceX CEO has only presented 4 times since Starship's precursor was initially disclosed in September 2016. The 4 main updates he's presented, accompanied by a relatively extensive PowerPoint deck, have provided a great amount of background on the status of Starship development and a variety of next steps, ranging from near-term goals to ambitions yet a decade or more in the future. Musk has not issued an official Starship update in 2020 or 2021. So, what are the latest developments? To put it another way, SpaceX has yet to give a Starship presentation in the style of 2016 to 2019, since the business began manufacturing and testing prototypes that are close to the final orbital-class ship and rocket designs. In those 2 years, SpaceX has made incredible progress, constructing a new prototype every month on average and flying one of those prototypes every 3 to 4 months. SpaceX recently completed and static-fired a Super Heavy booster prototype, completed and repeatedly static-fired the first orbital-class Starship prototype, completed 2 more Super Heavy boosters, and is about to prepare one of those boosters for the first comprehensive Super Heavy qualification testing. If things go well for SpaceX, the company will be able to expand. If things move in SpaceX's favor, the Federal Aviation Administration might complete an environmental assessment and authorize a license for the first one or more orbital Starship launch attempts in early 2022. SpaceX has already started manufacturing 2 more orbital-class Starship prototypes, with up to 3 ships and 2 rockets available for proof testing and an upcoming series of orbital test flights. Starship S-20 is effectively ready for launch when Super Heavy Booster 4, B4, follows suit after 4 successful static fires, one of which fired up all 6 Raptor engines for the first time. What to expect from the Starship presentation? Let's check it out. With a major milestone approaching, Elon Musk plans to deliver a presentation on the latest Starship progress. In a recent series of tweets, Musk put it this way: Starship aspires to be the first fully reusable orbital launch vehicle, the holy grail of rocketry. This is the critical breakthrough needed to make life multiplanetary. He further claims that Starship is in a different league than SpaceX's Falcon 9 rockets, which just achieved a milestone of 111 straight successful missions, making it the most successful orbital rocket in history. Starship requires orders of magnitude more mass to orbit than Falcon, according to Musk, and is essential for constructing a self-sustaining city on Mars. Apart from the date and time of the event, Musk hasn't revealed anything else. There are no details on what we may expect to see, although we might get a new update on the next orbital flight test. Elon Musk's previous Starship presentations, the most recent of which was in September 2019, detailed changes to the launch vehicle's design as well as name changes. So, what will Starship be used for? Let's take a look. The benefits of building a larger rocket are obvious: heavier payloads and longer range. Starship may be able to lift up to 250 tons into low Earth orbit in an expendable configuration, or 150 tons with vehicle recovery once it's completed. To increase the range, SpaceX is working on orbital refueling. Since the Starship was the BFR, CEO Elon Musk has talked about Mars trips, but it isn't the sole use case. The first Starship launches will most likely be focused on operations on the Moon and in Earth orbit. The Dear Moon orbital lunar mission, funded in part by Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa, should be one of the first. Officially, Maezawa and his hand-picked fellow passengers will be launched into orbit by SpaceX in 2023, but that date is starting to look unlikely. When will it fly? Several upper-stage designs have been tested at SpaceX's Starbase location in Boca Chica, Texas, over the last 3 years. The company commenced operations in 2019 with the launch of Starhopper, a 39-meter-tall test piece that resembled a water tower and sailed 150 meters above the ground. In December 2020, the first prototype SN8 flew to a height of 12.5 kilometers. It belly-flopped back to Earth, providing SpaceX with crucial engineering data on the vehicle's final stages of return from space. SN8, on the other hand, approached the landing pad too quickly and forcefully, causing it to crumble and explode. 3 more test objects exploded until Starship SN15 successfully landed in May 2021 with a soft landing. SpaceX is on a tight schedule to deliver an operational Starship by 2024, after gaining a multi-billion-dollar deal with NASA earlier this year to send astronauts to the Moon. Even a tiny static fire test, which is larger and heavier than everything SpaceX has launched thus far, can go tragically wrong. Fortunately, everything went as planned. After all, the goal is bigger, and it all depends on how successful and safe the Starship is at transporting passengers to space and then returning safely to Earth to be repurposed for another launch. With that, we have come to the end of the video. If you found it interesting, make sure to hit the like button and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more videos coming up.